So why is traveling with a toddler just so incredibly stressful? I really want you to think about that for a second. If you're a parent, or honestly, even if you've just been near a traveling family, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You're probably picturing the chaos right now, aren't you? The epic meltdowns in the airport terminal, the total refusal to sit still in the car seat, the wildly unpredictable moods. We have this immediate, almost automatic assumption that the toddler's behavior is the root of all the stress. We blame the toddler. We think, if they would just go along with the plan, everything would be totally fine. But what if we've been looking at this entirely the wrong way?
Take a look at this quote from our source material. Most of the stress came from me. Wow, let that sink in for a second. Before the author realized what was actually happening, she absolutely thought the toddler was the source of the anxiety. But the truth? The chaos wasn't actually coming from the child's behavior. It was coming from the parents' own unupdated expectations. It was this heavy baggage of expectations carried into the trip that was literally causing all the friction. It's definitely a tough pill to swallow, but it completely changes how we understand family dynamics on the road. In today's explainer, we're diving into the parent's journey, letting go of the itinerary. We are exploring that massive internal transformation parents have to undergo when navigating routines outside the home. To really understand the stress, we first have to unpack the expectation. You know the one, the expectation of happy memories, smooth days, and cute moments. We all carry this picture in our heads of what a family trip is supposed to look like. We imagine these beautiful golden hour sunsets, smiling family portraits, and just totally effortless adventures. And where do we get this picture? Usually it's from scrolling through other people's perfectly curated photos. We see their highlight reels, and without even realizing it, we set that as the baseline for our own reality. We pack our bags expecting this flawless, photo-perfect picture. But reality always has other plans.
And that brings us right to mistake number 1, the old identity. This is a huge realization from the text.
Think about how you used to travel before kids. You had fast transitions, you could grab your bag and be out the door in literally 2 minutes. You had these packed schedules, bouncing from a museum to a cafe to a monument, back to back, and these long, exhilarating days. But the reality of a toddler, it's slowing down to inspect every single tiny bug on the sidewalk. It's an apocalyptic meltdown simply because their cracker broke in half. It is a constant, unending stream of needing things. When you try to force your old, fast-paced reality onto a little kid who naturally moves slowly and unpredictably, you get frustrated. And here is the absolute key takeaway. That frustration isn't caused by your child. It's caused by you, the parent, trying to operate in your pre-kid reality. You're basically still trying to be the person you were before you became a parent. Which brings us to this absolutely crucial concept, the identity shift. It is the challenging internal process of catching up to the version of you who travels differently now. This is the real hurdle here. It's not about managing the toddler. It's about managing yourself. You just haven't caught up to your new self yet. Your life has changed. Your responsibilities have completely changed. But your internal operating system, it's still running on the old software. Updating that software, making that identity shift is super difficult, but it is absolutely essential. And holding on to that old identity leads directly to mistake number 2, forcing the memories. Once we're finally on the trip and things aren't going according to that fast-paced old identity, we tend to overcompensate. We end up chasing these super rigid itineraries, forcing special moments, and stressing out over getting perfect photos at famous landmarks just to prove the trip was a success. We put this immense pressure on ourselves to make the whole thing worth it. We think, hey, we spent the money, we took the time off work, so by goodness, we are going to have a magical time, right? But this pressure completely removes us from actually being present. Because let's be real, what does a toddler actually care about? They don't care about your itinerary. They do not care about the photo op. They care about snacks, they care about naps, and they care about feeling safe in a strange new environment. When you force the trip to be special based on an adult itinerary, you actually end up missing the small, quiet moments that are genuinely special to your child. So how do we actually break out of this frustrating cycle? It comes down to this really pivotal epiphany from our source. Stop trying to control the experience. Let the experience shape you. This is that beautiful moment where the parent finally stops trying to manage the day with an iron fist. It's the moment you just let go of those rigid expectations. You stop trying to force the vacation to look like the fantasy in your head, and you finally start accepting the vacation that is actually happening right in front of you. Okay, so how do we practically apply this? Our explainer breaks down 3 actionable steps for a toddler travel routine. Step 1,
Prioritize snacks, naps, and safety. Make these the absolute non-negotiable pillars of your day, not a 3-hour museum tour. If these 3 core things are met, boom, it's a successful day. Step 2, slow down. Just accept that everything is going to take 3 times as long as it used to and lean into that slower pace. And step 3, lower the bar and let the day unfold. Stop micromanaging the schedule. If you only see 1 thing instead of 4, but everyone is actually happy, you've won.
When you put this into practice, you become the new traveler. You finally step into that new identity. And just look at the reality of this new world parent. You move slower, you notice more because you're finally looking at the world from a toddler's perspective, noticing all the little details you would have totally rushed past before. You let go of the old version of yourself, and when you do this, suddenly the entire trip feels lighter. And I really want to emphasize this point. The trip doesn't feel lighter because your toddler magically changed. It feels lighter because you changed. Traveling with a toddler isn't about surviving the chaos or chasing some perfect memory. It's about learning to travel as the exact person you are right now. I want to leave you with this final, provocative thought. Is your parenting stress coming from expectations you haven't outgrown yet? The next time you feel that familiar frustration bubbling up on a trip, or honestly, even just during a random Tuesday outing to the grocery store, just take a breath. Ask yourself, am I stressed because of what my child is doing, or am I stressed because I'm trying to live a reality that just no longer exists? Catch up to the new you. Let go of the itinerary, lower the bar, and you might just find that the trip you're actually on is far more beautiful than the one you planned. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep learning, keep reflecting, and we'll see you next time.